In June.
Your WavyOcho, I'm gonna react to the hidden XXXTENTACION documentary.
Of this year, it will be 5 years since we lost arguably one of the most unique and versatile artists of our generation. X's career and discography, albeit a short one, touched the hearts of millions and in some cases literally saved people's lives. There are countless
X really like impact people, bro. Out of all races, bro. Out of all race, bro. Impact people, bro. He has that much influence, bro. Even though I'm not really a fan, like as I said, I'm not really a big XXXTentacion fan. But like he he impacted a lot of people, bro. People call him a legend.
unofficial documentaries
Despite being mad young,
and video essays on YouTube that cover X's life, go in depth into certain situations that he was a part of, and a lot of these were very good considering that they were made by people who at no point had any interactions with X or his team to begin with some of them even garnering millions of views. And of course, as most people who stay tapped into pop culture even a little bit know, in 2022 we got a full-fledged official X documentary released on Hulu for fans to consume and learn a little bit more about an artist who passed too soon. But did you know we also got a second one? In today's video, I cover the XXXTentacion documentary that either nobody knows about or cares to talk about, since I did not see any large creator on this platform cover this film. Look at Me, XXXTentacion was a 2-hour-long documentary produced by Fader Films as well as X's team and released for streaming on Hulu on May 26th of 2022. In his own words, was a 55-minute companion film that was produced by the same people, X's team included, and was released for either purchase or rental on a much smaller platform by the name of Altamod, which, if I had to guess, is probably why many people don't even know that the film exists to begin with. I want to be fully honest with you if I said that while logging into this website and putting my credit card information into it, I didn't have any concerns. Regardless, I rented the film as I was really curious as to what type of content I missed out on. And before we fully get into this, I gotta say that prior to watching the second official documentary, I did go back and actually re-watch the first one that everyone's already seen. I, like many others, still believe the documentary was fantastic. The fact that it was so bittersweet and showed that X wasn't perfect was something
I ain't gonna lie, I watched a little bit of that documentary, bro. I didn't watch the whole thing. I only watched like a little bit. I ain't gonna lie.
that surprised me during my first watch of it last year, and still
I didn't watch on Hulu though. There was I watched on YouTube because like somebody like uploaded like parts of the documentary.
made me think this time as well. And I do know that there are a lot of X fans that think they focused on the negatives too much, and I guess I can understand your point there, but at the end of the day, the things that happened with Geneva, for example, were massive events in his story that needed to be talked about in my opinion, so I don't blame the team for doing that. My takeaway at the end of the day was that X was taken too soon to be able to fully fix his past mistakes, but was on the right path before his passing. The second documentary, which I will be referring to by its name in his own words for the rest of the video, was exactly as described, however, a companion film. The title is also essentially a description of what you should be expecting from the film too. I honestly think that the film was just a collection of footage that either didn't make the final cut of Look at Me the film, but was also organized and presented in a format and timeline that makes sense to the viewer instead of a bunch of videos and interviews thrown together with no context. The film itself felt super quick, and especially if you're a fan of X, I think you'd find that it's worth the $5 it costs to rent it. Unless you're this guy on Reddit, then you're probably still looking for a free leak till this day. And if you do want something free though, there's a free link to join my Discord server in the description, so you can say hi and give me ideas on what videos to post next. But the film starts with never before heard footage of an X phone interview with the Fader from jail on March 7th of 2017. Kinda cool to hear, not gonna lie. One key point I noticed was that X said he was disappointed with how he presented himself in his No Jumper interview.
Definitely am very disappointed with how I presented myself in my No Jumper interview.
Which is crazy to me since that's one of his most iconic interviews of all time. He didn't go into specifics as to why he felt that way about that specific interview, other than touching on how he spoke about his fight with a gay cellmate in juvie, mentioning that he said, "Oh yeah, I watched that interview when he said like he got it on with with a gay guy, bro. He got it on. He had to break. He said he broke the gay nigga up, bro. Like he broke him up. He was breaking him up. Like that's what according to X, that's what he said, bro. Beat up the gay guy.
I wish he clarified
that his reasoning for fighting him was not because of his sexual orientation.
Talking about beating that kid in jail, and even the significance of me calling him homosexual or anything like that. That was stupid.
And also saying that he wasn't comfortable being on camera, mentioning that that's also why he didn't have any music videos out at this time.
I don't even like being on camera. That's why I have no music videos or anything like that.
Which, now that I think about it, it's kind of crazy because we never really got to see that many music videos of X. It was also towards the end of this phone interview when you can already start to see the lost potential. X speaks about wanting people to become quite literally addicted to his music and the message in his songs through pain.
I want people to fully make me their heroine. I want to literally be the oxygen that these kids breathe at this point in time.
Stating that once he fully accomplishes that, he would use his negatives and turn them into positives in order to uplift his fans mentally and cure them from depression through his music.
And then once I accomplish that fully, and I have the full ears and eyes of the youth, then it sounds crazy, but I'm going to use the negative I created, because I have, unfortunately, created too much negative. And then I'm going to turn it into a positive by uplifting them mentally and curing them from the depression and helping them figure out what it is they want in life.
And of course, while yes, many fans will go on to say that X's music did help them deal with their depression,
for 3 years this did help me get through depression and a bunch of stuff.
My take from the specific bit was that unfortunately X was taken too soon before we even got to see the full aspect of what that massively positive attitude would be like. After that jail interview clip, we get straight into the vlog-esque style documentary, which essentially reminded me a lot of the Juice WRLD documentary that we received back in 2021. Although I did enjoy both Look at Me, the film, and in his own words, more than Juice WRLD Into the Abyss, probably because both the X docs and especially Look at Me had more structure, like I said. We also see way more clips, questions, and answers from X's official sit-down interview with the Fader than we did in the Hulu film, which in my opinion gave the viewer great insight into what X's mindset was like back in 2017. This interview in specific makes X seem very woke. I usually hate using that word, but if you watch it back, you'll understand what
Everybody's so woke and all this shit, bro. Everybody, that's the I feel like it's not a misused word. It's not like clout is an overused word, bro. Like clout. Everybody always using that word for some shit, bro. For some reason, bro. But like, yeah, like Illuminati is woke. You feel me? Like.
X always had a very complex way of speaking and loved to speak about concepts and ideas that many don't touch on. Because everybody wants to be happy, that's the world goal, to reach a certain amount of self-enlightenment. What about the brains that have not accomplished self-enlightenment? And we saw tons of that in this interview with X, also specifically mentioning the laws of the universe. The whole point is evolution and creation. If you're not evolving, you're doing something wrong. So anything that takes away the power of your mind is keeping you still and delaying your evolution. The whole point of life is evolution. Studying the laws of the universe. Also, going away from the subject of the doc, I genuinely am curious if this complex aspect of X was something that Jose Onfroy as a person was actually like off camera when talking to friends and family, or if he was just speaking like this as part of the X persona. Nobody cared about Jose Onfroy. Nobody cared about Jose Onfroy until he took on the persona as XXX. But then again, even if that was the case, he did a pretty good job of hiding it and making it seem like this was genuinely how he was. I may have this facade that everybody thinks it is X per se, but behind this facade there's a whole different person. In his own words, then proceeds to show more background footage of when X was released from jail that didn't make the file final cut of Look at Me, as well as more interactions with his mom, friends, and colleagues as we got to hear multiple calls that X was making about booking studio sessions.
What's your availability with the studio? Could I work there like all night type shit?
Or how he was working on his next album, which was 17.
Cause I wanted to just like be there for the night, cause I wanted to get started on my own.
I think the part that was highlighted the most in his own words that actually wasn't covered all that much in Look at Me was the fan love that X received in person. We saw plenty of clips of X either walking on the mall or just some other area in North Miami, all while having fans actively coming up to him, being literally starstruck and wanting their picture taken. The doc also gives us footage of a fan meetup / concert kind of thing that X hosted for free in an area that to me looked like Wynwood in Miami, where you really get to see how popular X actually was locally at this time. Keep in mind, 17 was still in the process of being made, meaning songs like Jocelyn Flores or F-Love featuring Trippie Redd weren't even made yet, and X had a crowd big enough to essentially get fully shut down and told to leave by the local police. I think the thing that made me the most emotional from in his own words was the way X spoke about his goal of becoming known as the greatest artist of all time.
I feel like I want to be, and I will be the greatest artist that ever was.
It's no question. Any X fan will tell you that he was truly versatile and was able to make many different types of music. When X was working on 17, people thought it was going to be a project full of look at me's. However, he decided to give us something completely unexpected and extremely emotional. X spoke about his emotional records such as Never and King in this documentary.
I listen to my songs such as Never or King and see the melancholy sound with so many different themes, quote unquote, to go over when you listen to my music.
And he also mentioned that he wanted to make music from tons of different genres, all depending on what his fans wanted him to make, basically.
So I make every single genre wherever it was and is. And if my fans ask me to do something, I try and do it.
Can you imagine all the different kinds of X music we would have right now if his life didn't get taken so early? Call me crazy, but I honestly believe that dream of wanting to be the greatest artist of all time could have come true one day. Hell, there's people out there now that consider X the greatest artist ever. All in all, something about In His Own Words appealed to me maybe even more than the Look at Me film. This second documentary just felt way more personal to me. There was minimal to no narration by anyone other than X himself, and honestly, X's voice and dialogue was probably around 90% of all the dialogue in the entire film, if I had to guess. I do think it's a shame that the film was released on an almost hidden platform and behind a paywall, but if you're an X fan in the slightest, or you just honestly want to see how his mindset was in 2017, I highly suggest you give the film a watch. In fact, from looking online to see other people's opinions, I'd say the majority who have seen it gave it a positive review. Some people did believe that it should have been combined and been a part of the original documentary rather than an extra film with a separate cost, while others, kind of like myself, enjoyed this film even more than the original documentary itself. If you go ahead and watch it for yourself, or you already have also, make sure to let me know what you think in the comments down below. X definitely wasn't perfect, nor did he claim to be, but I truly believe that he was on the road to bettering himself and trying to spread a positive message in his final moments. Watching stuff like this honestly just makes me miss him even more, but I am glad that we have some of these moments that were captured on film for us to see. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and drop a like on it.
Comment down below which documentary of XXXTENTACION did y'all like, bro, more better, bro. So yeah, bro, me personally, like I said before, like I really wasn't a big XXXTENTACION fan, but you know, like he didn't deserve to go out like that. He didn't deserve to pass away like that. You know, like he had potential, like even though I wasn't really listening to his music though, but he had potential. And so yeah, bro, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes, so just check it out. You are.